Welcome everybody to Bean Juice and Conversations. I'm your host. I'm your host, Matt Redding. It's the old switcherooski today, as the lovely Sarah Jenkins has asked me to actually interview her just to try to help her audience, you guys, get to know her a little bit better. So, and she picked me for some strange, godforsaken reason, but here we go. So let's just see how this turns out. Sarah, how are you?
I'm well, I think.
Yep.
I'm in the creepy dungeon. It says Kevin's Rock and Roll Emporium.
It would be a guy named Kevin that owns a dungeon.
Yeah, it's Kevin's
Apologies to all Kevins out there. What are you drinking?
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's your show, so.
It might spoil the illusion of coffee and words.
I mean, I'm drinking coffee.
Okay.
With a little bit of whiskey in it, but I'm drinking coffee. So.
I'm drinking water right now because I had to drive 30 minutes to get here. And then, yeah, so I've got water. It's water and words.
Welcome to Water and Words.
Water and words. I drank coffee on the last episode, so we're good.
So why is the show called Coffee and Words? Like, is it a sentimental thing, or is it just like the first thing that popped in your head and it stuck?
Yeah, it started like several years ago because you know my love affair with coffee and reading and books and writing. And I did a post on Instagram years ago. I don't even remember what it was, but I had coffee and I think I was reading or writing something, and I posted about it, and I did a hashtag coffee and words because that's what popped in my head. It's like, oh, that sounds cool. I'm going to keep that in the back of my head. And I kind of kept some of those handles online. And then I did a YouTube channel that never had anything on it, just to kind of hold that placeholder. Cause I thought one day I want to do something with the name Coffee and Words, because it just kind of summed me up, I think. So it was just a random Instagram post.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now it's become a thing.
It's a worldwide sensation.
It's funny how that works. It's like, I don't know, Bees in a Trench Coat. Did I ever tell you the story behind that name?
No, I don't think you did, actually.
That is, so just briefly, because we're going to flip back to you in a second, but
you don't have to.
It's funny how you got the title for this, because like Bees in a Trench Coat is kind of the same thing, where for those of you that played Dungeons and Dragons, I made an item in the game called Trench Coat Full of Bees. And it was a trench coat full of bees. And all the guys that played it loved it. And one day we were talking about it, and he's like, that should be the name of a podcast or something. And I was like, yeah, that's so stupid. That'll never be a thing. And then I can't get it to go away. Everyone loves it, and they won't let me change it. So Bees in a Trench Coat. Yeah. I did kind of want to do this. I do want to get like an update on the here and the now and what's going on, but just take it back just a little bit, just to let everyone kind of get to know you. So my first interaction with you, I was still very, very much so young in my artistic journey as a creator, and you were trying something new, or was Players of Light your first theatrical directorial endeavor? And tell us a little bit more about that, and like why you let an idiot like me and Micah and all the others in.
I don't know. What do you want to know? I was a theater director for a number of years. Started a troupe from the ground up. Was not the first time I had been in directing, that I had worked in theater. I grew up in musical theater. So yeah.
Any favorite roles?
I love The Music Man. I didn't have a big part in that one, and that's fine because it was so much fun. And I still love to go back and watch that. It's just, I can still sing the songs.
There's a recording of it.
Oh, I don't know. I hope not. But did you know
so
that Hugh Jackman used to, this is something I found so fascinating about him. He used to audition, or one time auditioned to the opening, I think it was like the opening scene where they're on the train. Anyway, Hugh Jackman has been in The Music Man, and he's used it for audition pieces like in his early days. So I thought that was cool. I don't know.
Now he gets to actually play it on Broadway. So if you want to pony up, if y'all want to donate $1,200 so me and Sarah can go see it, that'd be phenomenal.
Yes.
Just saying. Just put that out there.
You have Venmo, right?
Yeah, I got Venmo.
Everybody in Venmo Matt, and we're going to see Hugh Jackman.
Music Man, yeah. Not even Music Man. We're just going to see Hugh Jackman.
We're going to see Hugh Jackman.
Show up at his house. Hey, you two. Don't worry about it.
He made sourdough bread. He'd give us a loaf. He like goes and hands it out to people.
Yeah. I'd also ask him for some coffee because he also owns.
Like a plug for Hugh Jackman's Instagram because that's where
hey,
that's the way I know
Hugh,
all this stuff.
Hey, Hugh, sponsor us. Thanks, buddy. Love you.
I might tag him in this and just see if he watches it. He won't, but I'm just saying.
Oh, he will.
Send us some sourdough.
I'll bug him.
Yeah.
And some tickets to Music Man.
Yes, please. But I don't know if that answered your question. Like,
well, I got favorite musical role. I didn't get favorite stage role.
When I used to take acting classes years ago, we did a lot of, different monologues and plays and things. And I did enjoy playing Ophelia in Hamlet because Hamlet's one of my all-time favorite stories. Love that. So I love Ophelia. I don't know. Directorial wise, I really, really connected with the Sherlock Holmes script that we like, just the whole production. And I loved you as Sherlock because you just nailed it. I think, It's a Wonderful Life is probably a close second, but But Sherlock Holmes we had a fantastic cast. And I don't know. I think Robert Downey Jr. has some, competition going on with Matt Redding because, Matt nailed it.
Matt Redding's dead. I killed him anyway.
Oh. All right. Well.
So, but like back to Players of Light, why Dixon specifically? Because I know you're from Fairview.
I'm not.
Fairview. I know you're from somewhere that's not Dixon.
I'm from planet Earth. I'm from Virginia. I don't know if people know.
Yeah. You are from Virginia. That's right. What part did you live in before you came out here?
Right outside of Richmond. So kind of near the middle, little town called Hopewell. But then, so why Dixon? That's where we were living at the time. And my kids had been involved in another theater program that turned out to not be the greatest experience. People aren't always
probably know who you're talking about.
So, I was asked to direct a play and I did, and things went awry. And so me and some others decided to form our own community theater program that would be open to everyone, but youth. So, opened, I think it was mostly, we started with the teenagers, and then we went on to college age, and then went down a little bit younger for certain productions. But it just kind of started with several friends and we grew it.
Best kind of theater, in my opinion.
I used to, I helped out, not a lot, but I helped out when I was in high school, junior high school. I used to go help out. So Fort Lee, the Army base in Hopewell, Virginia, they have a theater and they put on these productions. And so I was asked to come and help be an usher and pass out programs and just kind of help, with all the house audience stuff. And so that was fun. That was a neat experience. I don't know. That was random.
And And that love of theater, of working it, directing it, acting in it, somehow cultivated into what you do now. Because when I came back, Sarah was now an author. And now I'm just hearing about all these books that you're writing and all these writers' conferences you're going off to, the Scottish cows here and there in between all of that, just because I don't know what that has to do with writing, but is there some sort of inspiration there? But how did so what you did then obviously evolved into what you did now. What do you think made the connection, and why is it such, outside of publishing a book, why is it such a big deal to you?
Writing?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, so I started writing probably when I was about 6 or 7. And as the story has been told before, as this little kid, thinking that she knew, how to write a book. I wrote like 2 pages in like ink pen on notebook paper and thought, oh, they turned that into a book. So I wrote this story, and I vaguely remember it was some kind of ghost story, but I vaguely remember it. And I remember asking my mom for a manila envelope, and we put it in there. And I went to one of my books, whatever it was, like, I was like 6 or 7, and looked at the copyright page and got the address for Bantam Books. I still remember which publishing company it was. And she helped me address it, and we mailed it off. And she kept saying, but that's not actually a book. And I said, yeah, but they turn it into one. No, that's not how it works, she would say. And I was like, yeah, mom, that's how. So, I thought, and I addressed like a letter. I had like a cover letter in there, and I tried to sound all like adult. And the funny thing is, and I wish I still had it, I actually got a letter back from somebody at Bantam.
No way.
Yes. And they were really sweet. And I barely remember what it said, but it was just kind of like this, nice gesture to the little kid that thought they were going to get this 2-page story published, but I never forgot that. So that was my first rejection letter.
Wow.
All the rejections they got before they got their publishing deal and stuff. And so, that was my first rejection letter. But I started writing as a kid, and I've always written, just because there's constantly characters and stories in my head, and I can't shut it off. So they're just my head. I have this very overactive brain that is just constantly running. So even when I'm asleep, I dream these movie-like epic dreams. I don't dream, like some people say they don't dream, or they don't remember dreaming, or they dream, little weird things that are very vague or abstract. But I can usually remember at least one dream every night. And it's usually a story, like a television show or a movie. It's got an arc to it. So my brain does not shut off.
Wow. Which art do you think feeds the other more? Or would you say it's like an equilibrium?
Oh, acting and writing between the two?
Yeah. Because I've heard plenty of people say they use acting to fuel their writing, which, I think all writers, use books, like reading, to fuel it. And that's a good primary source for it, because obviously if you're going to write music, you need to listen to music. If you're going to write books, you need to like read books. But I've heard some people say, and myself included, that for me, like, I guess since I just said myself included, like, when I act, I can come up with other plots within the play that I can steal and make my own thing, which can fuel my writing. So, like, you said though you were 6, so I'm wondering if that came first, does it kind of circle back to how you create a character for the stage?
That's a great question. I've never thought about that. I think the two have always been interconnected, because I had a love of acting as a very small child as well. And I used to put on these big theatricals at home and with the neighborhood kids. I remember in elementary, I don't remember what age, I wrote a play, and I gathered several kids in the neighborhood, and we rehearsed it and we practiced it and we put it on. We built like a stage in my backyard and we like put on this play and like got parents to watch it and stuff. So I've always been fascinated with acting, with writing. I think it stems from a love of characters. I'm fascinated by people. I'm fascinated by motives and what drives, humans to do the things that they do, and all of the different personalities and perspectives. And so I think that probably I feel like maybe that's where it came from. I've never really sat down and thought about this. But yeah, I think they're interconnected, because when I'm writing, I am picturing characters. Like I'll cast the roles in my head, because I'm very visual and I need to see it play out in my head. So when I'm writing, I'm seeing it in real time, in action in my head. And then I'm writing what I'm seeing, and kind of finagling how to word that and that sort of thing. And I might have to stop, go back, read it, then I'll come back and just, I go right back into the scene. I can just jump right back there in my head. So I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. Especially when I think back on Every Beaten Path, like a lot of the conversation, all of you who don't own this book and are watching it, go buy it right now. A lot of the conversations between those characters, I remember, felt real, which was uncomfortable at times, but it was like it wasn't mushy or twaddled together like a bunch of other dramatic books or whatever that try to make it all artsy fartsy and dramatic. Like it was just, I could see this conversation playing out exactly like this in real life. So yeah, that makes sense. How was Every Beaten Path your first published book, or did you send out others beforehand? Like, I don't remember if it was.
First published book. Yes, I've written others that will never see the light of day, but they were good. Every author should have books that they wrote to get them where they are. Those practice books, those books where you go through the full process of writing an entire book, editing an entire book, getting critiques, and even sending it out. Rejection letters are great because you learn a lot from that. And like, I've had feedback from agents that did not accept a query, but emailed back and said, this is what I wish I would have gotten from the query. And so then, I can go back and rewrite the query, based on feedback. You don't always get feedback, but I appreciate agents that take the time to do that. It's my first published, but not the first one I've written. So
what influences did you have for that specific book? Or if they influence everything you do in general?
For Every Beaten Path.
Or both.
Like what inspired?
Every Beaten Path and everything else you write, because I know that you also dabble in some other genres. So, and I strongly doubt there's just one name for like all of them.
Well, so this is a great time to do the official announcement, which I've kind of
oh boy.
No, it's not exciting.
Let me get my announcement glasses.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna need some more water. Yeah. No, okay, so I've kind of been sitting on people know because they ask me and I've talked about it, but I haven't officially announced that I have switched genres. So I've always written contemporary dramas. That's my niche. I dabbled once in a fantasy series, like a medieval, like a high fantasy type series. It was fun. It was so much fun to write that, but that is not. Yeah. That is just not my niche. But contemporary drama, Every Beaten Path, those inspirational, heartfelt family drama sagas, torn apart love, that's just the everyday things that we deal with as humans, those things that tug at our heartstrings, those things that we've all been through that we connect with. That's my niche. But all that to say, I discovered that where I'm supposed to be writing right now and currently am, and I'm the second book I'm in this genre is horror, and specifically
let's go
psychological horror. And there's so much more I can do there. There's so many more conversations that I can have and things that I can talk about, even big, important things, but in a safer space to talk about those things. Things that affect all of us, that affect a lot of people, very human issues, but it's a different realm to be writing in. So I'm loving it. And it's funny because I grew up watching horror movies. I used to write horror stories when I was a kid. I got suspended in 9th grade for writing a horror story and bringing it to school. I might edit this out of the video. I don't know. I went to a private school and they were very strict, and I brought it to school for friends to read. And it was, yeah. So I feel like maybe all along I was supposed to be writing horror. It just sounds weird to say I write horror. People ask you, oh, what genre do you write in? Horror.
Spooky
and they're
stuff.
Like, oh.
Yeah. Oh. If I'm not the first character that dies in your book, I'll be mad.
Okay. But I'm loving it. And like I said, so I'm writing, I wrote my first horror novel last year. It went to my editor, to my developmental editor. My copy editor is waiting on it. But I went through kind of a rough patch, I don't know, I hit a wall toward like the later part of 2021. And the revisions were really tough. So I am back in the swing of things with that, but I've already started my second book in that genre, not related to the first book. So I should be querying 2 books at one time. So we'll see. This one is set to go to my editor in May. So I've got a little bit of time, but not a lot in writing terms.
What amazes me about that whole thing is, first of all, awesome. Like, I can't wait to read it. I don't usually do horror, but I'll make the exception for you. But secondly, I can't even, whether I intend to publish it or not, it takes me like forever to get even a chapter out on page. And you just said that you've written 2 books in like 2 years. So I'm just curious, what is your process? And like, what's the routine and the habit and things you look for to kind of get words on a page and make stuff happen?
Yeah, commitment.
If you care to delve into your secrets for us.
Yeah, commitment and consistency. That's the only thing I could tell anyone is you have to make yourself sit down and write a certain number of words a day. You need a word count goal, and you need to be writing every day. You can take, I know Stephen King, I think, writes 7 days a week. I try to write 5 days a week. So I think he does like 1,500 words a day. And I think he can get away with that, working every day. I try to work Monday through Friday. I'll catch up on the weekends if I need to. But when I'm writing, I have to push myself to meet those word count goals every day, because if you don't, you're going to get behind. It's going to be 6 months, a year, 2 years, and before you finish it. So I can write a novel in about 3 to 4 months. That gives me a good cushion. Deadlines help me, because when I know that I have to send it to my editor on this date, I'm going to get it done. So it's stressful sometimes, but yeah, it's consistency, making yourself right. And then you have to develop your toolbox for those moments where you're staring at the blank screen and you're like, I have no idea what to write next. You have to really develop your toolkit to bring those ideas out, bring the story, flesh the story out. I have lots of different things I do.
What is a toolkit for those that don't know?
So a toolkit would be things that you have developed to help flourish and bring out your creativity. And sometimes it's specific to a story. For instance, if you feel like you're having writer's block, or you just feel like nothing is coming, you've hit a wall, you just can't write at all. There are just things that creatives can do. It may be listening to music, it may be going for a walk, it may be going and talking to someone else, having a conversation, painting, sketching. It's different for everybody. It's very individual to the person. There are things that we can do to get our creative juices flowing. Maybe you start another project, because usually once you start something else, things from another project will start flowing. But you learn yourself. You learn how to kind of break through those barriers. When your creative juices just kind of fizzle, you have to figure out the things that help you to proceed.
So, actor, writer, also mom, when you're not doing all of those things, like, what is life in the Jenkins household?
Kitchen
and what do you do?
parties.
Like, what?
Kitchen dance parties.
Kitchen dance party. All right, I'm about it.
Yeah.
Any particular kind of music?
Just whatever's comes on the playlist.
Okay.
It could be anything. It could be indie folk rock. It could be Sia. It could be a little bit of everything. It could be reggae. I have a very eclectic mix that I listen to. But yeah, no, we love to dance and sing. So I think I also sing, but not professionally. But
yes, I was told that she would have a new song for us, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, that she was going to debut. So whenever you're ready. This is like the last time she asked me to do anything with her.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. But I would definitely sing with you sometime. That would be fine.
I actually do have a couple of duets that I'm thinking of, so we'll make that happen.
All right.
Make that happen. Don't listen to that part, people. Things are happening.
Things are happening.
Things are happening. Yeah. For future reference, I don't know, like, how much of a fan of blending your coffee with stuff you are, but this is a great combination.
Oh, what'd you blend it with?
It is Pete's Major Dickinson's blend, hot, and then a shot of what's it called? Bowman Brothers Virginia bourbon barreled whiskey.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Really good.
All right. It's a way to throw down a Friday night.
This is me throwing down hoodie, coffee mug, sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
So yeah, what a party animal I am.
I'm just, listen, got my water. I mean, I'm pretty wild over here with my H2O. Special blend H2O.
Special blend, extra oxygen.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, like, okay. So getting out of the kitchen from the dance party back into the work world of Sarah Jenkins, like, I'm seeing this pattern of you doing new things. Like, we've gone from acting to writing to, well, momming, but I think that's been here and there all throughout the process. Like,
yeah.
Actually, gonna camp on that question for a second. How has that actually, like your kids, your husband, your family outside, like people you know, is that a huge part of like your artistic endeavors, or do they kind of buy more into it rather than you take from what they give you? If that makes any sense. Yeah. I probably could have worded that better, but
no, I need everybody to leave me alone so I can be creative.
Okay.
They're very supportive. They're all very, very supportive. So Brian is not a big like fiction reader. He'll read articles and stuff. Like, he's more of a news guy. So he doesn't read what I write, but he's super supportive. He's always like cheering me on. Like, I'm so proud of you. You go. And he did read chapter 1 of Every Beaten Path. So that was a lot. No, that was major for him. So I feel very, very blessed and loved. And it's just all are, I mean, they're my kids, but they love it. They're so excited, and they tell everybody, you know, about all the things I'm doing. And I'm like, it's really not that big a deal, but they're proud of me. And so that's, they're encouragers. And so if I'm ever having a bad day, I've got a support system I can lean on. But as far as being part of the creative process, yeah, no, I need like people to just leave me alone so I can go create.
I think what I meant more is like, are there because like, okay, using myself in my very limited experience, I love my family. None of them add to any characters or any kind of plots in my work. Like, there's just, I'm content with the life and the memories we've made in reality together, but I don't ever see anything like that getting pulled into anything I come up with.
Yeah, no.
Is that the same for you, or is there maybe, yeah? Yeah,
no. And it's just weird for me because I don't choose the stories that I write or the characters that I write about. I mean, I do choose, because there's a lot of characters and stories that have come to me that I'll never write, but I don't sit there and like create a character or create a story. I know that sounds weird, but I see it in my head. So I will see a character, and it might be sparked by an actor, you know, that I watched in something. It might be sparked by someone that I saw out in public somewhere, or a dream. I mean, I've had a lot of inspirations from dreams that I've had. So I will see a character or characters in my head, and then they will start doing things. And then a story starts to come together. And then I'll either go, oh, that's really interesting, let me delve into that further. Or I'll go, okay, well, you know, whatever. And it just kind of goes, you know, in and out. So that's, my family doesn't really, there's no, and usually people that I know don't inspire characters. It's strangers, it's random strangers, it's actors, or dreams.
The question I was building up to, though, was, do you think that there is an uncharted territory in this world of art that you haven't quite explored yet, or you've taken an interest to, that maybe someday in the future you might take a crack at it, as the cool kids say?
Oh, I mean, I hope. Yeah. There's so many things that interest me. I would love to work on a movie set. I mean, I would love to just be the person that brings people coffee, just to be in that environment. Film is such a huge part of my life. Film and music have been there since I was a small child, and it's just a huge part of my life. So I think that goes back to the acting thing. Definitely acting and writing for me are completely intertwined. The ability that I have as an actress helps me in my writing. And I would say the understanding of character and story helps me in my acting. So they're very much intertwined.
Are there any particular movies, would you say, that have stoked that fire that you can go back to whenever you're feeling low on the creative juices, or just any that you hold dear to your heart in general?
Wow. So why is it that you could talk about this any other day of the week, but when somebody asks you,
as soon as there's a camera, everything you've ever known?
I could name some newer things that have really inspired me or have really struck me, kind of hit me as an artist. And that, like Poldark, which is based on a series of books that were written in the early 1900s by Winston Graham. The television series with Aidan Turner and what is her name? Eleanor Tomlinson, I think is her name. The story.
That's a great name.
Yeah. Well, the storytelling in that, the script was fantastic. And the soundtrack, I mean, like everything, the casting, everything came together, and it was just a very beautifully executed show. And then I love Mayor of Easttown with Kate Winslet. I'm a huge Kate Winslet fan. I just love her. And it's a newer show that she had, and it's very, very good. That's one of the newer ones that really struck me. And I'm very much obsessed right now with Absentia on Prime. The writing and just the storytelling in that show is phenomenal. I'm on a high from it right now. When you watch something really good and then you're just like, you're on a high and I'm ready to watch it again. But that is sort of, I aspire to be able to write like that, to be that kind of storyteller. So that's totally S tier right now for me. And, but yeah, older things. I mean, movies, films, there's so many things. That Glass of the Mohicans. Sean just watched that for the first time the other day. And I've always loved that. Daniel Day-Lewis, turns.
I've never seen it.
Old. Oh, you have to see that. It's so good.
I own it. I just haven't seen it yet.
It's so good. If you can get your hands on the director's cut, that one's even better than the theatrical version.
See, now I'm going to hate the one that I have because I don't think it is the director's cut, and I haven't even seen it yet. So thanks for
the original one first, then watch the director's cut and see what they did. Growing up, I loved Braveheart. Of course, that's a classic. There's too many to name, I think.
And I haven't seen Last of the Mohicans out of all of them you listed. Actually, I haven't seen any of the ones you listed. I should fix that. But anyways.
I just feel very unprepared because there's so many wonderful films that I'm just not bringing them to mind right now. I'll probably do like a list and put it on Instagram at some point of my favorite. I'll sit down and make a list and I'll put
That'd be great. I'd love to see that. You should do like pick your top 25 and then over 25 days of the month, kind of like what I'm doing with the song a day. Like
I love that. I love
post a movie a day. So, yeah.
Yeah, I will do that because I'm going to kick myself after this is over because I'll think of some fabulous, oh wait, I forgot all about that. But yeah.
See, you just got to have one that is like your all-time go-to that you can just say immediately and then shut down the conversation after that so you don't have to worry about the rest. So
I would, if I wasn't put on the spot, it would have come like that. So
yeah, but that's why you plan ahead. Like, granted, I gave you no notes on what I was going to ask. Granted, because I didn't put any notes together. Because apparently they're wrong because you're not from Fairview, you're from Virginia. Like I knew, but I forgot. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, Welcome to the world of Sarah and Matt, everybody. Everything is improvised. That's the first rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
That's the story of my life. My entire life is improvised.
It's the best way to live. Just got to know how to say yes and. Those of you who don't know, I was her least favorite actor because I broke character so many times on stage and threw in so much of my own crap.
No, you're one of my favorites. You taught other people how to be a more natural actor. Because anybody, most anybody can memorize a script or, can figure out who their character is and go through motions, but to put that really authentic human aspect in there to the character to make it very real and very in the moment, not everybody can do that. And you definitely have a gift for that. So.
And the only way that was ever really brought out is because your directing experience was a way that helped cultivate creativity. Whereas I've had some others in my life, some that were supposed to play a significant role in my development as an actor, that just had such a stranglehold on their vision that anything original was immediately speculated and ultimately most likely thrown out. Whereas you just kind of rolled with the punches. And not everything worked, granted. Like I'd say like I did a bunch of horrible stuff, but I did. But a lot of it was thrown out, but the things that did stick were usually the funniest quips that made the most sense, got a lot of laughs from the audience, and we wouldn't have discovered those things if it wasn't for such a hospitable directing style that you possess. So,
well, thank you. Yeah, I've actually discovered over the years, the older that I've gotten and the more involved with various things that I've been into, that I actually prefer behind the scenes roles. I love production. I love producing. I love directing. I actually enjoy editing. So I love those behind the scenes, actually the larger bringing the story together roles. And I still love being on stage or being in front of the camera as far as being a character and acting. I enjoy that immensely, but I've really discovered this love for production work and directing that I think if I had to choose, I would stay behind the camera instead of in front of it.
Not everyone would want to do that. So that's a noble pursuit. So film directing, do you think maybe that's the next great uncharted territory?
Oh man, I've thought about that for years. I would love to get a small group together and do an independent film. That's been on my list of to-dos for a very long time now. So we should make that happen.
Yeah. Every Beaten Path, the film coming soon to Hallmark. In 2025, people, you heard it here first. Starring Hugh Jackman.
Yes. Well, he was an inspiration for one of the characters in that book. So
for the dad, right?
No, for Mark, Jess's brother.
No.
Yeah.
Hugh. Wolverine. Pastor Wolverine.
Pastor Wolverine.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I would have guessed the dad.
That was Russell
If I'm being completely honest. I know it was Russell Crowe, but I don't know. Hugh's got that gruff, that kind of because the dad works at a tire factory, so he's got that grit, but also that kind-hearted, come here, let me make you some tea, mate, sort of side to him, the pastor. Wow. Okay. I'm just trying to erase John Krasinski from my head to envision that. So
he is, let me tell you, he is an incredibly gifted director.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. And watching A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2, blown away.
He's directing another one with Steve Carell in it, if you don't know.
Really?
Yeah. It's all about imagination, and I'm so into it.
But I had no idea. I've never watched The Office, So people can send me hate letters. I know. I'm sorry.
Everyone spam her with your favorite Office clips until she goes and watches this. Listen, you will never find a character more frustrating and lovable at the same time as Michael Scott in season 1. Like, if you want to learn more about human interaction and human communication in the worst way possible, go watch The Office.
It's on my list.
You say like you pull. Oh yeah, it's on my list. Listen, you say like you pull things from like inspirations from like watching people. Go watch those people and see what you come up with. It's phenomenal. But anyways, I'm sorry, rant over. Continue.
No, I was just gonna say or continue saying that I just had no idea the level of talent that he had for directing. I'd seen clips from The Office, so I was familiar with who he was. And I think I've seen him. He's been in a couple other things. I'm trying to remember, but I mean, I know he's been in many things, but things that I've seen. But watching the Quiet Place films, I mean, drop the mic. It's so unique and fresh and innovative with and the way he leaves, the way he packages it all together and gives you closure while still leaving it at the end. Like there's more story to tell. And the way he balances that, I don't know, that I'm still blown away by both of those movies. So
I still haven't seen either. And I own both of them.
What?
Listen, I own things. I haven't seen things. I just own them. But I will. It's like a bookshelf. Surely you can relate. I have like 50 billion books. I've read 3. So
my TBR right now is massive and daunting, and it scares me. So,
but it's the thought that counts, right? Oh, this is good. This looks good. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. It counts still. A couple of questions I did actually have. What do you think your rapper name would be?
My rapper name. Ooh.
Your rapper name, based on your life experiences, things you've been through. Like, what is the rapper name?
You tell me. You give me a rapper name.
I can barely come up with my rapper name.
Is there a formula?
So, okay. Eminem's rapper name is based off the fact that his name is literally Marshall Mathers, Eminem. So it can be something literal but creative at the same time, like that. Or it can just be like Kanye West just goes by Kanye, his first name, because it's one word, very short, very brief, sounds powerful, sounds mysterious, And then you have Chance the Rapper. His name is literally Chance, but it just sounds like a cool rap name, because you wouldn't know his name was Chance unless I told you.
Word tripper, because there's a multiple play on word. Because I trip over air. Like, I am super close.
Okay. So y'all, if this video gets up to 1,000 likes, she has to change her Instagram handle to Word Tripper for a solid month. So
I will do it. Okay, I will do that.
There you go.
But I trip over air.
And if Hugh Jackman acknowledges this video, she has to keep it Word Tripper for the next 2 months.
Okay, if Hugh
Jackman and Kate Winslet both, that's your name for the year.
Wait. If what happens?
If Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet watch your video and share your video, you got to keep it for a year.
Okay, if Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet watch my video, they actually watch it and they share it and like mention me online, I will change my name to Word Tripper for the rest of my life. I probably.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. So.
Okay, I feel like the odds are good.
I would legally change mine to Hugh Jackman Jr. But don't actually do that, Hugh. I don't want to change my name. But so the other question I did have was, what would you want to say to yourself years ago when you were young in this creative process of becoming who you are now as an author, as an artist in general? Like, what advice do you have?
So I would tell my younger self, don't let life get in the way. Meaning don't get discouraged. You're going to go through a whole lot of ups and downs. You've got a big, long journey ahead of you. But if you want something, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, you need to continue with that, and you need to be consistent, and you need to work towards it, and not let all of these things that are going to smack you in the face on your journey make you deviate from the course or shut down or throw in the towel. Because that's probably been my biggest struggle, is just being discouraged about things, not just about creative things, but just things in life, or letting things that have happened to me make me put my creative endeavors off to the side. I'll come back to that later. And I could have done so much more and been in other places than I am now if I hadn't done that. But all that to say, I feel like I'm where I'm at now for a reason, and I'm in a good place. And so I think that's part of the journey too, that you can't go back with the what ifs, because everything you've been through or done or haven't done has brought you to where you are. So I'm grateful for all of that. But yeah, definitely not giving up, I think, would be the one thing I would tell myself.
So where else can people find you outside of this wonderful little podcast you put together? Twitter, Facebook pages, anything like that?
Climbing mountains.
I'm sure they already know, but.
In flip-flops, no. That would be an interesting storyline. Okay. So I'm on all the socials. I am not on TikTok. If anyone wants me to be on TikTok bad enough,
she's not on TikTok yet.
You need to like and comment, and you need to harass me about it. I have no plans to be on TikTok until I'm harassed enough that I get on TikTok. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook. So now I have a personal Facebook. I'm not going to add you if I don't know you. So I have an author Facebook page. I have Instagram, Twitter. I still have my Tumblr. If you're one of those random people that's still on Tumblr.
I haven't heard that since 2014. Like, wow. I don't even have one of those.
I never got rid of it, and you can post directly to it from Instagram. So usually when I post something on Instagram, I'll just send it over to Tumblr. I don't know what's going on over on Tumblr because I don't actually get on there. But I'm on.
Probably got millions of fans on Tumblr and don't even know it.
No, I don't. I think there's like 2 people. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of them. The main one I use is Instagram and Twitter. I love Twitter. I'm not as active as I need to be to engage in conversation, but if people want to follow me on Twitter, and then go over there and check it out, because I like that medium.
What's your Twitter handle?
I believe that one's AMD Sarah Jenkins.
Almighty Director, for those that don't know.
Yep. Almighty Director. We'll go into that next time. There's a story behind that. But yeah, author Sarah Jenkins, AMD Sarah Jenkins are the @ that you can find me. And if you just type in Sarah Jenkins, you're usually going to find me, or Coffee and Words pops up things too. So
awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you for letting me do this. This has been fun. Yeah, anytime. So, and we'll see all of y'all in a few minutes. Go pop over to the live segment. Although they'll be watching this after the live session. So.
They will, but it'll be kind of cool. Be like, oh yeah, we caught that.
Yeah. So for those of you that joined us in the live session, thank you very much. So, but I'm not going to share my Twitter handle because it's mostly sports stuff, because I'm a sports blogger on the side. So, but I'm also on, what's it called? Instagram. Jeez. It's Fiction Fighter, or you can just type in that right now, just pop right up. But yeah, this was fun. Have a good night. Have a good time. Have a good whatever. So, and we'll see all of you next time on Bean Juice and Conversations. Or water.
Yeah. So. Or it's coffee, tea, and other things.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt. It's been
You're welcome.
Having a role reversal, but it's been good.
I had fun. I'm just gonna say.
Yay!
I was like, I've done 2 interviews in my life, and both of them sucked. So.
And if people want to see more things like this, definitely please comment below. Comment below. I don't know. Comment. Tell. Yeah. Send me notes. Send me things.
Hugh Jackman, please watch this. But yeah, don't hold us to any of the bets we made.
Yeah, if you're watching, I don't know. Thank you for all of your inspiration and your sourdough bread.
And please adopt me, or send me an autographed picture. I'll take either. Yes, thank you for all you do. So.
All right.
That was both Hugh Jackman and you. So, all right. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Bye.
Bye.